Hello everyone.
We are from Group 11.
And we're going to talk about content analysis.
So, my name is Yunia Haifa.
My name is Avicenna Sanurwin Pelawi.
My name is Avicenna Sanurwin.
So, let's begin. Content analysis is described as the scientific study of content of communication. It is the study of the content with the reference to the meanings, context, and intentions contained in messages. According to Berelson in 1952, content analysis is a research technique for the objective, systematic, and quantitative description of the manifest content of communication. Content analysis is all about making valid, replicable, and objective inferences about the message on the basis of explicit rules. The material for the content analysis can be letters, diaries, newspaper content, messages of radio, documents, text, or any symbols. And like any other research method, content analysis conforms to three basic principles of scientific method. They are objectivity, systematic, and generalizability. First is objectivity, which means that the analysis is pursued on the basis of explicit rules, which enable different researchers to obtain the same result from the same documents or messages. Second is systematic. The inclusions or exclusions of the content is done according to some consistently applied rules, whereby the possibility of including only materials which support the researcher's ideas is eliminated. Last is generalizability. The result obtained by the researcher can be applied to other similar situations. Thus, scholars from various disciplines such as social sciences, communications, psychology, political science, history, and language studies use content analysis. It is most widely used in social science and mass communication research. Berelson in 1952 offers more possibilities for the uses of content analysis. First is reveal international differences in communication content. Second is detect the existence of propaganda. Third is identify the intentions, focus or communication trends of an individual, group, or institution. Fourth is describe attitudinal and behavioral responses to communications. And the last is determine psychological or emotional state of persons or group. Content analysis usually involve the following 6 steps. First is formulations of the research questions or objectives. Second is selections of communications content and sample. Third is developing content categorized. Fourth is finalizing units of analysis. Fifth is preparing a coding schedule, pilot testing, and checking intercoder reliabilities. And the last is analyzing the collected data.
So, where did the label content analysis come from? The technique is being developed especially by Harold D. Laswell and his associates. By the end of 1942, the label content analysis had already been used for at least a few years. The label content analysis is being used by students of symbolic aspects of society. In the year of 1940, Wepels, Berelson, and Bradshaw used the label in their book What Reading Does to People. They also used it in the title of a typed document, What the Voters Were Told, an essay in content analysis. So, the label content analysis is coming from many researchers throughout many years. They use the label in their research and documents they write. Then the label is now widely known. There are 4 major functions of content analysis. First, to produce increases in the degree of confirmation of hypotheses already generally presumed to be valid and definitive disconfirmation of hypotheses already generally presumed to be invalid. 2. To correct optical illusions, which may be shared by most specialists. Third, to settle disagreements among specialists as the truth value of certain propositions. Fourth, to permit the formulation and the testing of hypotheses.
So let's analyzing the data. The assumption made is that the words that are mentioned most often are the words that reflect the greatest concern. One thing to consider is that synonyms may be used for stylistic reasons throughout a document and may lead the researchers to underestimate the importance of the content. A good rule to follow in analysis is to use word frequency counts to identify words of a potential interest, and then to use a keyword in context search to test for the consistency of usage of the word. Content analysis extends far beyond simple word counts. However, what makes the technique particularly rich and meaningful is its reliance on coding and categorizing of the data. Then, let's talk about reliability. Reliability problems usually grow out of the ambiguity of word meanings, category definitions, or the other coding rules. Reliability may be discussed in the following terms. First, stability or intra-rater reliability. Second, reproducibility or inter-rater reliability. Then let's talk about coding units. There are several different ways to defining coding units. The first is to define them physically in terms of their natural or intuitive borders. Second, to define the recording units syntactically, that is to use two separations created by the author, such as words, sentences, or paragraph. And third, to define them is to use referential units. So the conclusion would be, when used properly, content analysis is so powerful data reduction technique. Its major benefit comes from the fact that it is a systematic, replicable technique for compressing many words of text into fewer content categories based on explicit rules of coding. Many limitations of word counts have been discussed, and methods of extending content analysis to enhance the utility of the analysis have been addressed. So, these are the conclusion of our discussions about content analysis. Thank you!